Hello. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, but that's alright. So, I wanted to make a tower defense, and that's what I did. I started this about a week ago, and this is my progress so far. So, you can see the enemies spawning, or they did spawn in. They'll start in up here and just follow like a pathway that I've set. I kind of cheated and gave myself unlimited gold at the moment, but that's alright too. So what happens in any tower defense, once enemies hit the final point, they will, die. But when a new wave starts, it already tells you like the total amount of enemies that come in, and they'll just keep spawning in like you saw right here. But let me go ahead and just sell off the towers, and we're just gonna play the waiting game here a little bit, or I can just cheat and take one of these guys. I can click on them, and yeah, so I'm just gonna change his move speed up to okay, I was a little bit fast, but who cares. I think I selected one of the waypoints, or I just didn't. Yeah, selected a lot of different things, but essentially, okay, maybe this was a bad idea. My brain is just not braining at the moment. Alright, so I'm gonna go back here. You see how there's 7 enemies left and 149 lives, so I'm gonna just speed them up here. And once they reach the exit point, you'll lose lives, and I have it depending on what type of enemy it is, but they will take away different lives on whatever amount. But yeah, so let's see, I'm gonna place another one. This next wave is air, and this is a ground unit. I'm gonna spawn in an air unit in a second, but this radius right here detects like when the enemies come into it. But you see how he's not attacking it because he's only a ground unit. Then when I make it into an air unit, you can see it attacking air units. Okay, so blah blah blah, dying, and so far I have like 5 different towers, I think, tower types anyways. But so this is a slow unit, and whenever enemies get close to it, it will slow them down. And then we have the splash damage unit. You can't really see the damage effects because I didn't set it up properly, but you can't see it over these guys, but you can see it over the smaller guys. Like that right there, you can see the splash damage occurring. But each target has its own targeting type, so I can make it target either the first one that enters, and it'll just stay with that one, the last one that enters, so as long as there's even like there's one over here and there's a new one that enters the radius, it'll target the newer one instead. The nearest, which is, it will target only whatever's just closest to the tower. So you can see how this one, let me sell these two, but you can see how it's only targeting the one that's like basically right in front of it. And then I have the strongest one, so whichever has the most health at the moment it will target that one instead. But you can see how that was the slime from the first stage, right? And then you're gonna see a little bug thing come out, but there's also a significantly more amount of enemy spawning per wave too. But let me restart this and show it again. So in that last stage with the slime, you saw like maybe 200, and you see 8 here, so I'm just gonna like kind of kill off everything as quickly as possible. Oh yeah, I got hotkeys set up too. It tells you which hotkey it is. So like 1 would be swordsman, then 2 axe, 3 magician, 4 gunner. It tells you like the tooltips, or a tooltip pops up and it tells you like the description of the unit or tower, because I do have a tower. And then it tells you like the gold cost for it, and not the gold, yeah, the gold cost next to the name. The damage it deals a random amount between those 2 numbers, and how quickly the attack is. So obviously if it's a lower number, it's a slower attack, and these guys have the fastest attack so far, but they're also the more expensive tower. But that was the 4th wave, and now you see how there's there's 90 plus slime that are spawning, and that'll just keep going on. And like once the initial waves end, so it'd be like that 1 through 4 that I have set up, it'll go into the bonus waves and basically multiply how fast they spawn and how many spawn with it. So that way I guess there's unlimited replayability. But right now it's game is set up like too easy to lose because, you know, beta testing. But the balancing can come much later. But I just took a break from the main project I was doing, the Blood, Death, and Mayhem, because I started doing a game jam, and then I just suddenly wanted to make a tower defense, and that's what happened with this. But you can see there's over 200 of these, when initially there was like, I think like 12 from the first wave. And yeah, you can combo with some of the towers. So like ideally you would want like a frost tower up in front and have it attack like either nearest or last one. But yeah, right now, because like it's just broken, you can just cheese it with the frost towers and just have like the AoE towers just demolish everything in the path. But yeah, you can't place towers where other towers are at. The game will tell you, and you can't place them out of bounds either. Can't place them on the path with enemies, because that would just be silly. I don't have that advanced AI pathing set up to where it avoid the towers or target towers if there's enemies in the way, but I might want to do that eventually. Have it where the enemy updates if towers are in the way, and if it can't reach the final goal, it will just start attacking the towers, kind of like what they would do in Warcraft 3 with tower defense games, like Line Tower. You would basically just build your own maze instead of have the enemies walk in a predetermined maze. But yeah, so because the next wave coming up is air, all of these towers are going to be 100% invalid. So they can't attack the air at all. So I need to spawn in a gunner, because currently this is the only one that can target air towers. But you can see here how the enemy's health is also really high up too. So it just takes longer and longer to complete each like advanced wave. Like, so just cycle through. So there'd be like the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, and whatever like advanced wave it's on, they would basically just get all their stats beefed up and how fast they spawn into. But it only increases it once that entire set of wave is complete. So you'd have 1 through 4 to be set 1, and then once that's done, it'll go to set 2. Then once 1 through 4 is completed again, it will yeah, it'll just cycle through it and through it again. I don't have a game over set up yet, but that shouldn't be too hard. Just essentially, if lives are 0, game over, and then press whatever button or input to restart. But because I'm killing the enemies, hopefully. Oh, that's a lot of lag. Okay, there we go. Whoops, wrong one, but hopefully I can kill more of the enemies here in a second. I don't think it's gonna happen. Not enough towers for the advanced systems yet, or the advanced waves. Okay, so I got a lot. Okay, I got more than enough killed, so it shouldn't result in an end yet. But you saw how many. It was like over 200 health. But right there, yeah. And same thing with these guys. Since these are like the tanky slow ones, they're gonna have more health and move much slower. This also displays, like, when you click on the enemies, it displays their health and speed, how fast they go. So these are a 1 speed, but then if you click on the tower, it displays their damage and how fast they attack. And it tells you like the names of the towers, not so yeah. And wherever you kill, I mean, these aren't, I don't have it set up right to actually work for killing, but you know, it is what it is. It depending on what enemy it is, it will give you a different amount of gold. So let's power through this. Do nearest for you. I think these take away the most amount of lives too. I'm just mass producing these because it's the easiest for me to click through with the hotkeys. Yeah, with my army of swordsmen, these guys will die very, very quickly right here. But yeah, and then now, so it was, I think 8 and then 90, and now you're gonna see like over 1,000 maybe, almost 1,000. There we go. Yeah. And they're spawning in faster too. But let's see if I can click on an initial one. So it says 97 health at the start of these enemies. Let me double check to make sure it is updating. So the first one should say 4 health. And when you kill one of these guys, it's going to give you 15 gold apiece. But yeah, that's all I got so far.